Hello, welcome friend, my name is Annika, and today you're getting another sketchbook video, and this time it's my fifth sketchbook from 2016, and it's the InkTober one. And this is a sketchbook from Denik that was in the ArtSnacks InkTober collection edition, which I bought. And the sticker, this little cute egg girl, is by Pepkins or Thabita. And yeah, let's just get started. Here is the first page. Inktober 2016 thumbnails, and I used the official Inktober prompt last year, and the first day was fast, but I got off to a little rocky start. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. At first I was going to go with fast racing snail. Then I just had to draw something else because nothing really get me inspired. Then I made this, and this is actually the inspiration for what I actually made. And I will have the finished Inktober illustration on the screen so you can see and compare. But this started the Inktober 2016, and I ended up making a pilot girl with a injured bird on her head, flying a fast magic carpet. And yeah, I think it was a really good start to Inktober last year, even though I sat down in the night to complete it, but I did complete the first day, so that was really nice. Day was also a little tricky, but as you can see I had a lot of ideas. But at first I thought maybe a noisy daycare with the children of the daycare would be monsters. So that one, I really like this idea, and I think I might go back to see if I can do it. Then we had the more fan art theme with a Harry Potter and a Mandrake and pot, but I kind of wanted to just do original characters as best I could in that year's Inktober. So then we had a little noisy mermaid baby having a bath, inspired by my daughter. And then I thought maybe I should go back to the theme of the... because I thought maybe she was taking out injured birds on a ride so they can feel the wind in their wings again. So I toyed with the idea of doing a sort of a theme, maybe with those two characters or her with other birds. But then I thought, yeah, it didn't really make sense to... because the word was noisy. I don't remember if I said that. But then I thought, what would be noisier than seagulls at a birthday party? So I made a little pirate with a spoon hook, I guess, eating ice cream and having a seagull sitting on the barrel and some singing seagulls in the background on a ship. So I made that, and that will be here besides. I'm sorry if I don't make very much sense, but yeah. Then we had day 3, which was collect, and I had a lot of ideas again. Here we had I thought maybe she's collecting birds and putting them in baskets, and then I thought maybe it would be a queen collecting mice for her little pet owl, or a wizard collecting parchment from a raven, collecting it in a jar, or maybe a grandma and a little child collecting eggs from a little hen. And as you can see, this is where I decided that I would go with a bird theme throughout my Inktober pieces. I thought that would be a fun idea, and I didn't really mention it anywhere until the very end. But yeah, I thought I would try and put in some kind of bird somewhere in the picture. Not everyone was very visible or the main focus, but I wanted at least one sort of bird in the pictures. And I ended up with something a little more like this, but instead of collecting birds, she's collecting rare little mouse butterflies. And I really want to do more with those characters because I thought they turned out really cute. Then we had Hungry, and it so happened to be the National Cinnamon Bun Day here in Sweden, so I actually ended up making a dragon with some hot chocolate or coffee and cinnamon buns. He's very hungry, and I will have that as well. Beside, I also toyed with the idea of maybe at the rescue center, maybe the girl from day one, would feed some very hungry little birds with other birds in the background. But I was really inspired to do a dragon, so that's what I went with. And the bird in that picture ended up being a hummingbird. And day 5 was a little tricky because I'm not used to making sad pictures like that, not anymore at least. I used to do more angsty stuff when I was younger, but it has been a while since I made something with that much emotion in it. And I saw a picture of a bird similar to this photograph, which really got me inspired. And I will come back to this one later, but it was sad, but it wasn't really a story yet. So I skipped that one. Then maybe I thought it would be a little bunny and a little bird of some kind giving comfort or something. Then this is more personal, I guess. I think I can't remember, but I was having some bad days, and my daughter, who I love very dearly, I was very sad. I felt like I wasn't the best mother at the time, so I felt sad about that. It's so difficult to explain, and since I'm doing this way later, it's hard to remember what was going through my mind when I did this. But this is actually more personal, but it's not sad in the sense that she's sad about the baby. It's the circumstances outside, I guess. But yeah, I skipped that one because it was a little too deep, and I didn't know how to include a bird in that. Then we had this one, which is what I ended up doing, and it's someone who's lost a little pet budgie, and it's very sad in the rain. And I actually really love how this turned out. I think it did convey the emotion that I wanted. And if you ever lost a pet, you know how devastating it can be. My very first pet was actually a budgie, which I loved very dearly, and I was very sad when she passed away. So you could say that's a little tribute to her, and of course the picture will have been on the screen. But let's move on. Then we have day 6, which is Hidden. And this was a tricky one. I didn't really know how to portray this. I thought maybe it would be hide and seek, someone seeking from someone who's hiding. But then again, I didn't know how to include a bird. But maybe that would have been easy, because if they're in a forest, there would have been birds sitting around. But this one, I'm thinking it's a girl by a mirror, but it's a hidden world inside the mirror. And I really like the idea and concept of this, and I think I would like to revisit that at some point. Then I started thinking about what kind of bird I wanted to do, and a flamingo popped into mind, and No, it's actually one of my partner's friend who suggested a flamingo, I think. He was helpful, at least, in that sense. I think flamingo in tall grass, but I added all the little critters. And what is hidden in this picture is the little, well, there's several little things hidden, but I ended up hiding a little grasshopper or something, insect, in the feathers of the flamingo, and the flamingo is looking at this. And there's also some other creatures in the back hiding, so that was hidden. And then we have day 7, which was lost. And this was also, I was first going to have a more emotional picture with someone who's lost a loved one, with a ghost of her beside him, and a white dove or something on the gravestone. And I think I want to revisit that as well, but I wasn't ready to do that at this day. And then I thought about someone lost in the forest, a little character, and an owl, and he's looking very confused. Then I toyed with the idea of having some kind of monster and backpackers who is asking for direction because he's lost in the forest. This changed. I ended up making a robot who is asking this little monster forest creature for help, and I'm having another little character who's really like, wow, a robot in our forest, whoa, that's so cool. And the parent, which I guess it is really confused and can't really help, but I really like the story it conveys. I think that's one of my favorite Inktober pieces I did, one of them at least. And then we had rock, and this was again one of those little tricky, but I ended up going with a mix of this and this, a monster eating rocks and having some kind of, I think it was, the inspiration for the bird was some kind of African bird, but I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, a mixture of those two. But I also toyed with the idea of rock being a diamond and having maybe a magpie giving the girl this. Same with this one. This is a more full body shot. This was more zoomed in, and I think she's having some kind of veil as well. And then we had some kind of rock creature, mountain rock creature with some flying birds all around, and maybe just a fox lying on some rocks and with a bird beside him. But as I said, I ended up going with this and this combined. Then was day 9, which was broken, and again I could have gone with a more emotional route, but I don't think I could have made it emotional enough. But a broken heart of someone, and here's a cookie jar that is broken, a little girl with a bird on her head and a cat. Their plan failed, the cookie jar broke. And I toyed with the idea of having an alien with a broken spaceship, but I ended up with this. I was thinking she's some kind of mechanic who's repairing broken wing of this bird in her workshop, and I really put effort in this, and I really liked how that turned out. And yeah, and then was jump, and from the beginning I kind of liked the idea of having an ostrich jumping over some fences, so I toyed with that idea. I don't think ostriches can jump like this, that I ended up doing more like in the end, but I like how the picture looks. But I also toyed a little with a kiwi jumping, but I I like the idea of the ostrich more, so that's what I went with. And it's a more funny looking illustration, but I like it. And then we had day 11, which was transport, and I kind of combined these. So we have the transport is the spaceship school bus, and we have a little scene with a mother saying goodbye to the little alien boy or girl who's going away with school, and we have the two-headed rooster in the picture as well. So this one is, I like the concept and sort of the idea, but I really don't like how I ended up doing the spaceship, because yeah, I'm not really good with mechanical things, so it's one of the ones that I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm really happy with the overall feeling of it, but I'm not really happy with the transportation. When you're doing Inktober, you have a limited set of time, and ideally you like to finish in a day, so you can't really do too much research or spend too much time on it. So I ended up with this, and it's okay. And then we had worried, and again it was a little tricky to kind of come up with something that could convey that. And this is also one of those days where I'm not really pleased with the end result, but I like the idea. So I ended up going with a worried mother hen. One of her eggs isn't as the others. There's maybe a dragon or a crocodile or something like that, and she's a little worried, and we have some chicks all around her. I don't really know what this was supposed to be, except a girl with a lot of hair and birds around her, and this could have been a lot of things. Some weird little birds on a branch looking down on some scene, but I couldn't think of anything, so I went with this. And then we had scared, and again there's a lot of things you could do with scared. Like this one is scared of this giant spider, which I'm also afraid of. I don't like spiders. Monster under the bed, and I really like the concept of this, which has been done before, granted, but I do want to make my version of this someday. But I didn't feel like drawing an interior. I think that was the problem. I didn't feel like doing something that involved something with straight lines. I think it can come down to that. Then we have, again, scared of spiders. And then I thought I for 2015 I did a similar concept, at least. I had a scared crow, but that time I had a ghost, and I will have that on the screen. But this time I tried to think of a bird that would be intimidating, and a vulture came to mind, so that's what I did. And I ended up adding some moles on the ground, who's also scared of the vulture. So that's it, and I'm really happy with how that one turned out. And then we had tree, and I had pretty much decided I wanted to draw my tree dryad, which is a character I've done. And then came the sort of playing around with what she would be doing and how I would portray her. I ended up making something more like this. I would have liked to made a more flowy scene as something, but I didn't have the brain capacity to do something that was too involved, so I made more of a bust shot with a woodpecker, and I think I have some magical creature she's looking at, and there's a little ladybugs in the picture as well. But yeah, I might go back to these two again, because again I like the idea. And then we have relaxed, and I had the vision of having a spa and dogs, and this is what I went with. But I also toyed with the idea of having someone by a fire lying down sleeping with a cat and a bird on them. And here's the same shot but on a sofa. But I ended up doing that because I thought it would be fun, and I really like how the little duckling turned out. It's really happy. But the mother duck and the person is really relaxed. So, yep. And then came battle again. I wanted to do something very ambitious, and the one from the Lord of the Ring where Gandalf goes, "You shall not pass." Belrog, maybe? I can't remember the name. My friend suggested that. But since I had the having a bird theme, I didn't know how to fit in that in this. So I didn't go further with that. Then I thought maybe it would be kids trying some play battle. And maybe even archer with some kind of bird, hawk or something in mid-battle thing. And I also toyed with the idea of maybe having a video game battle with cat and a bird on the couch with these two girls battling away, playing something very intense. But I ended up with something more like this, which is the remnants, I think it's called, of a battle. So it's a battle, but it's happened a long time ago, so there's just the skeleton left, and I really like the end piece of this as well. I really like how that one turned out. So there's a raven sitting on the sword. Yeah, I really like how this scene came out. Then was escape, and I thought maybe a fox in a hen house escaping with the eggs, and this one, I'm not sure, I just think I thought maybe some bird in a cage with a monster creature either busting them out or something. But then I thought penguins would be fun to draw, and they're escaping from the zoo. And I ended up trying at least to do different races of penguins. I don't know how well I succeeded, but that's what I tried at least. And then we have day 19, which is flight. And this is something I really want to do because I've sketched a similar thing multiple times now, but I haven't really gotten around to doing it. But it's a monster flying with the help of an airplane. And here I think I was going with some bird watcher, seeing some big bird with someone on it, which I thought maybe I should just do this, and this is what I ended up doing. And I ended up doing an eagle instead of this, which looks more like a crow, but I ended up doing an eagle with some kind of wizard thing and its pet, and they're hauling some cargo with the help of the eagle. But I also toyed with the idea of maybe a bird watcher again, maybe seeing some flying bird and having some other birds beside it. But I ended up with that. And then we have day 20, which was squeeze. And I really like this one. I want to do, and I have sketched out on ACO similar to this, which I haven't finished yet, but I think I will someday, with a squeezy hug, which led to maybe the thought of maybe doing something similar as day 5, which was sad, with a sad girl and a budgie, but I wanted to make a happy scene instead, and so I made a girl hugging a cat and a little duckling in a squeezy hug. And here I thought maybe some monsters and someone squeezed between them, and there I think is a griffin with someone squeezed inside it, I guess. But yeah, I ended up with this. And then we have day 21, which was big. And as you can see, I had a lot of ideas. Sometimes you have very many. It's actually on the next page as well. And I really like all of them. I actually really love this one. But I ended up with combining a lot of things, and I really like this one. It has such a cute belly, but yeah, I ended up with doing a big giant, and having small birds all around it, and on its hand looking, and it's standing in a, yeah, you'll see that in here, having a little house down with smoke going up, a valley of some kind with forests around it, and mountains, and a very big giant. So that's what I went with. Then was 22, which was little instead. Again, I toyed with the idea of doing a little kiwi, and here I actually don't know. I think it's a pigeon, but I don't know. And here I don't know, but it's a little elephant with a big pigeon. And as you can see, I had decided that I kind of wanted to go with the pigeon route, and that's what I did. I ended up doing a pigeon with a little folks, a mother and her 2 children, one in the carrier, I guess it's called, and one sitting on the pigeon. And yeah, I really like how that one turned out as well. Then slow. I think I pretty much had decided that I wanted to draw a sloth, because I wanted to draw a sloth. They're creepy cute, and they are adorable and very strange at the same time. But yeah, and they're very slow, so that's what I wanted to do. But I couldn't decide how I wanted the picture to be at first. But then I sketched out this, and I really liked, yeah, it had a nice feeling to it. And I can't remember the bird species name. It could be lovebirds, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's also one of those that turned out really nice. And then was day 24, which was 1 dozen. So I toyed with the idea of maybe doing a mermaid, because I wanted to draw a mermaid, because I really like to draw mermaids. And the 1 dozen would have been fish, and having some kind of water bird sticking its head down. So that's 2 versions of that. But then I thought maybe I should do an owl, and I did an owl mother and her 1 dozen little owl chicks, and I really like how this one turned out as well. I'm not really all that pleased with the little owl chicks, but overall I really like the feeling of this. I think the owl mother really turned out cute. And then was day 25, and I was tired. I was really tired of InkTober, and I decided to do sort of a self-portrait, but we don't have a cat and we don't have a bird, but I imagined a tired researcher of some kind sitting at a desk late at night with its pets curled up beside him on the desk. Yeah, tired. I don't know how to explain more, but yeah. Then we had box, which was day 26, and I think I pretty much had decided I wanted to do something with children playing with boxes, because I liked that concept of children playing with what they have at hand. And in my imagination, the boxes turned into a pirate ship, and we have a girl who's the captain of the pirate ship, and a teddy bear lookout, and a parrot. And I added, as you will see, merman, I guess, a little boy and a plush shark, and I think I had a cat as well. You'll see that on the picture, but yeah, I put a lot of little details in this, and I really like the end result. Then was creepy, and again, I don't draw that well. My characters are, since they often have empty eyes, a little creepy just by that. But yeah, it's it's hard to do things that you're not used to. But I thought of maybe just doing a silhouette of some creepy thing, and bird silhouettes. So this is what I went with in the end. But there's some kind of stork bird which is really creepy looking, and again a owl, I think, who looks really creepy. So I toyed with the idea of maybe doing something with those, or a zombie. But I ended up with a silhouette of something creepy, and it's sort of inspired by The Grudge, which is a creepy movie. So that's inspiration for that. Then was day 28, which was Burn, and since I went with a bird theme for this Inktober, I really wanted to add a phoenix somewhere, and I didn't know if I wanted to do it dying or being born again, and I'm doing sort of a combined thing. It's a new phoenix being born, and the remnants of the old one, or it's the same, but you'll see this, it comes up like that. I can't remember, but these a little witch and a cat had watched the phoenix being born, or at least that's the idea behind it, and I again really like how it turned out. I am really happy with Inktober 2016 overall, so I really like that I pushed myself. I don't know if I will be as ambitious next year or this year, but I have a few months to decide how I want to go about it, so we'll see. Day 29 was Surprise, and I ended up not finishing everything in time. I did finish all 31 drawings, but I think these last days actually was finished in the beginning of November, because I fell behind, but instead of just giving up, I extended my days instead. I wanted to do something nice for every day, and I didn't want to rush it too much. So I did make every single Inktober day, but I didn't finish everyone on time. But yeah, back to this day. Surprise, and a jack-in-the-box, surprising some kind of bird. This is inspired by a picture I found while I was looking for reference on Pinterest. It's a squirrel backside sticking out of some kind of fruit. I really like the look of that, but it wouldn't fit the theme. So yeah, that one I think I just sketched out so I wouldn't forget. And this one, it's someone getting sort of a changeling. A stork has delivered the wrong baby to this mother, but I ended up with this, which is a boy and a goose, and the big grandparent, I guess, giving a gift to the little boy. But the surprise is the little doggy that he is about to give the boy as well. And The Boy and the Goose is actually inspired by a photography of a boy and a goose by, I think, Elena something. I will have a link in the description. I think she's a Russian photographer who her photography is really beautiful, and I sort of was inspired by the picture with the boy and the goose for this one. And then day 30 was wreck. I think I shipwreck on this one as well as this one. I ended up with something more like this, with a shipwreck in the background and then a mermaid and a albatross. I believe I did, not a seagull but an albatross on its nest. She's handing a fish or something. But I also toyed with the idea of maybe doing a road runner in the desert where a spaceship has crash landed, so it's a wreck. Or maybe a night scene with someone by a fire and a spaceship wreck, I guess. And some birds on cactus around it. But I went with this one because I wanted to draw a mermaid. And the last day of Inktober was day 31, which was Friend. And I think I was thinking of what bird didn't I not do, and a peacock is something that I didn't do, so I thought that could be a fun idea to kind of play with. They are friends and the queen is pregnant or something. Here is just the queen and the peacock. Here I was going to have some creature on the back, but I didn't know what I wanted the friend to look like, so I skipped that one, and this is more what I went with. I went with more like this, but with a cat instead beside her. So she's sitting there talking to her friends. So it was a really nice Inktober, and I'm happy that I did it. So I think we'll stop here because I talk a lot. I think I had a lot of things to talk about. So the rest of the sketchbook will be a separate video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, thumbs up. And if you want to watch more sketchbook video, I have a playlist and we'll post it somewhere on the screen. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hej då!